let's start standing, because that will tell us a lot about our hips. I'll just pull air again here, because whoa, what I'm going to ask you to feel is your pelvic bone right here. And you can see the hips sit into the sockets. And on the back, we have this really interesting piece of equipment, the sacrum, these 5 fused vertebrae that sits right between our pelvic bones, these iliacs. And so as you stand with your feet hip width apart in a comfortable stand, and I know now that I've sort of screwed up asking you to stand in your default stance, which may be something like this. What I would like you to pay attention to is your knees as you stand. Does one knee hyperextend more than the other? So if you take your hands to the pelvis, does it one side drift forward? So that's one way that it can be astray, which does tend to force one knee into a hyperextension. So if we all take that stand here, that can also come from scoliosis with the turn of the spine. The other thing is the upside down. So lifting one heel, bring it down, lift the other heel. As you do this, notice is it harder on one side than the other? And then secondly, are you using the whole body to do this movement? So everything stands still. Take your thumbs, and this is a really good one to do in front of a mirror, taking your thumbs to the lower ribs and your index finger right where you meet bone. And as you do it in front of a mirror, you will notice maybe that one side is smaller than the other, which will indicate some scoliosis on the lumbar spine, which will affect our hips, our knees, because we are just a little bit off. So we've sorted out, there is the turn, then there was the lateral. The other thing is, of course, the dipping, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. And we all have tendencies. Mine is the anterior tilt. I am dropping my front hip bones down. And so instead of being with the front and the back on the same side, you take your thumbs to the backbone, your index fingers to the front, and get an idea of, is it about even, or are you, like me, anterior tilted? Maybe you're posterior tilted, where we have the tendencies of pulling the hips forward. Again, habits that the somatics looks to sort out. Let's come onto our back and see what's going on once we come down. And start with your legs straight. And there is Miss Jennifer. So with the legs straight, pay attention. Are you getting my little cheat sheets up here? I wrote it down on Monday and I looked at it. I want to make sure that we actually stay with it. Feeling the sacrum, are you resting right centered on the sacrum? Or with the anterior tilt, are you feeling more towards the tailbone, or are you feeling more towards your lumbar spine? That would be a posterior tilt. Does it feel like one hip touches more, or one buttock cheek? That's a better way of saying it. So look from side to side and mark what is touching. I think of this, when you go to the dentist and you have a cavity and afterwards you're going to bite down on that ink paper. And is that, what kind of mark am I leaving? So you're doing an ink bite right now. And then from that, a little bit. Bend up the knees and take the hands to the lower abdomen. As you breathe in and out, notice your breath before you begin to change it. Is it smooth and easy? There she is. Does it draw down to the lower abdomen? So that there's a sense of expansion up into the hands. When we breathe with the diaphragm, we also work the psoas. Remember the psoas, the hip flexors that attaches to the lumbar spine, each vertebrae, crosses through the pelvis where it picks up a friend and attaches to the inner thigh bone. So this is a mighty big player. This belly breathing massages the psoas. It gets movement on it, so it doesn't get stuck. It is one of the main causes of back pain and hip thingies. They lock in. Second to the heart, they say, in emotional response. It tightens when we are afraid or angry, irritated. So breathing in and breathing out. And you can keep your hands on your abdomen and you can relax them along the sides as we now begin to move into the arch and flatten. Let that be a 3 complete breath cycles. So the arch, in breath, out breath, slowly float back. And then take a breath in for nothing. And exhale, now flattening, hollowing out the abdomen. Slowly release the contraction. And remember, this may take more than 1 breath cycle. And then take a full breath cycle before you start again, so that we start from a completely neutral place. With the arch on the in-breath, floating back. A breath in for nothing. And flattening. Hollow out the belly. And then slowly release. Buffer breath. And then we're going to do it one more time. Take your time. Remember, the slower you move, where there is no force in the slowness, because it can be too slow. There's no pain. That's the right amount of speed and exertion. And then once you complete, slide the legs out. And pause. Rolling the legs in and out. Now rolling from your hips, not from the feet. We're going to bend the knees up again. We'll work with the internal and external rotation of the thighs. Walk your feet close together. Relax your arms wherever it is comfortable. And then slowly release your right leg down and stay centered on your sacrum. So keep that as your compass. Lifting it up, about halfway up, lowering down again, and not all the way down to your end. It's a release sensation. Stay away from the stretch sensation. That's where we can get in trouble. It may feel so good right in that moment of the stretch, but that may very well serve to tighten things up more. So you're constantly brushing right at the edge, lowering the knee and lifting. Should your knee come to lay flat on the floor? No, not unless you have severe hip dysplasia. Notice you're releasing down, contract the muscles back up again. So be present in the release sensation. Contract. Again, as we move really fast, we may be using compensatory movement patterns. Slow and easy. And then taking the leg up. Now cross your left leg over the right. So we are working exclusively with the right side right now. Take your right arm out and up, a little bit higher than your shoulder height. And then you will dip the knees down to the left side. And as you exhale, your outer right hip brings you up. Dipping down to the left, contracting the outer right, pulling you up. So this is the tensor fascia latae. I got a little bit of gluteus medius. But you may also feel that your internal obliques, your waist, is helping you draw back up. Smooth and easy. And I invite you to keep your eyes closed if that is comfortable for you. Allowing your mind to focus internally. I am doing it with you in case you get lost so you can peek over. And then next time you come up to center, uncross the legs, and slide the legs out. And we will just pause here. Right side and left side, what is different? What are the sensations, the echoes of the movement, both physically but also maybe emotionally? And we'll bend the knees up again. And we will go to work on the left side, walking the feet again together. And then slowly release left knee down. We're keeping the sacrum locked down. Notice if the sacrum wants to follow you rolling onto the rim. So that might be a little Notice that there's not as much hip flexibility. We're taking it out of the spine by rotating. For whatever reason. Habits layer in, and they are stubborn because they exist right below the surface of awareness often. What is different on this side? And then next time you come up, we'll cross the right leg over the left. And take the left arm out a little bit higher than shoulder. Knees go right. How are you getting the knee back up? What contracts? Does this feel the same as it did on the other side? Easy and smooth. And next time we come up, we will stay. Uncross the legs. And slide the legs back out. And pause. So we haven't done it in a bit, so let's visit with one of my absolute favorite, the fallen tree, I call this one. Think about rolling the right leg in. Again, rolling from the hip, not the foot. Roll the leg out. Let's do that a couple of more times. Leg rolls in, it rolls out. And the next time you're rolling out, begin to slide the foot up. So the knee is poking out to the side. And slide it back out again. Roll the leg in, rolling out, and we slide up again. Maybe a little bit higher, as if you were coming into a tree pose. So we're allowing the movement to slowly build. Each part a little bit higher. Rolling in, rolling out, sliding up. When you feel you have reached the height that you can come up, you can just stand the foot up and dip it across. We take it back out and slide it out. Rolling in, rolling out, sliding, dipping across, back and forth. So we have both rotation and hip flexion. Dipping across, letting your nose travel opposite off the knee. Make it easy. As easy as you can make it. Let go of any strain or struggle. Teaching your body movement is easy. Which is how we have to rehabilitate. And then you'll finish the one that you are on and pause. Pause and sense your right leg and hip and glute and back compared to the left. Feeling the breath both in the lower two quadrants and the upper two quadrants. And I think we should switch to the left side now because I know I feel a difference, so I'm hoping you do too. We're going to roll the left leg just in and out. In and out. Rolling from the hip so the foot follows, not from the foot with a passive hip. Our rotators are in the hip, even though sometimes we get a little exuberant with the foot. And then next time you roll the foot out, let's begin to slide it out. And don't be greedy. Do a little bit and then a little bit more. Because if we take too big a chunk right out of the gate, if there is some movement restriction, some compensating or movement amnesia, we may scoot right over it. And we want to know every little bit of this movement. And when you feel you've come up to the end, then we can begin to invite a little dip in. And again, let the dip grow too. The standing up of the foot. Let each movement stretch, it's not the best word, grow a little bit bigger than the prior one. But always without strain. And if it feels all right, we begin to take the deep, we'll let the head travel opposite of the leg. Nose opposite of knee. How easy can you make this movement? And then finish the one that you are on. Pause again. sensing, feeling. And we'll bend up the knees. And then sweep your right arm up. We're going to roll over onto the right side. You can support your head on a blanket. You can support it on your arm. You want your head supported. And then we're going to line the heels up with the sits bone. So this is not the 90-90 from last week. This is the clamshell. So staying up on your left hip bone. And you might need to slide next to pillow or blanket under the hip. If this is sore, pad, pad, pad. Take your hand to your outer hip, a little bit behind the hip bone. We're going to talk with our external rotators. Lift your left knee. Feel the muscles contracting. And slowly release down. Take a full breath. I'll count the next one. No worries. Full breath in and out. And lifting again, contracting. And then let's count from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Letting go. Notice as always if there are any jump and jitters. And then we repeat. Lifting the knee. Staying right on top of your right hip. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Slide your left leg out long. So it's down a long side, just a long length of your mat. Did I say, yeah, the top leg, not the bottom. The top leg slides out long, the left one on top. The right stays exactly where it is. And then here we're gonna see we can get a little bit more glute release. You're gonna slide the leg back up and let it come to fall off the top leg. I'm going to pause here. So the knee is dipping down. So it has dropped down on top. Sally has a really good picture if you're looking. All my dark pants, just those all meshes together into darkness. And we'll slide the leg back out again. Slide the top leg straight out, reaching out. And we'll slide the leg back up. And the knee will drop down. Take a breath, and we'll do that one more time. Sliding the leg out. Pressing out through the heel. And sliding it up. And let it drop down and pause. So a sense of pluming your feathers a little bit. Then slide the leg halfway out, just to the clamshell part. And come onto your back. And pause. Take the legs out. And breathe in and out again. Right side versus the left side. What information did you gain from this one? We'll bend up the knees and we'll roll over onto the other side. So we'll set up first for clamshell. Support your head on a blanket or arm and take your hand down. So we got the bony bump, that's the greater trochanter, the hip bone, the thigh bone, and then slice just a little bit behind there. And then you can really feel the muscles contract as you lift the knee and lowering down. I'll count the next one. Let's take a full breath in and out. And we'll lift the leg up again. Notice this is the easy side or the hard side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Letting go. And again. Lifting, contracting. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we are. Relax, letting go. Everything pools. When you're ready, one more time, lifting. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Sliding the right leg out. Now take it up, sliding it up. So here we're using both the psoas, the hip flexors, but also the glutes are getting a little bit of a release invitation. Dropping the knee down off the top knee if that's comfortable. You may choose to take your leg further out. Breathing into your outer right hip. And then slide the leg out. Lengthen. And you're pointing to something, Jennifer. You're reaching out. Slide the knee up. Is it a little irritated? Let the knee draw down onto the floor. Breathe, pull. And then slowly sliding it up. All the way out, reach. One more time. Slowly draw the knee up. Complement of the psoas, the hip flexor. And relax. Breathe. One more breath. And then slide the leg halfway out. We're going to come onto our belly. And place your hands, maybe resting your cheek, your chin, maybe not your chin, your temple, your forehead, so that you are comfortable in your neck, whatever that means for your body today. We're going to play a little bit with our glutes and hamstrings, as they too greatly affect the hip. Pressing the hips down, and we're going to bend the right leg up. Bend the right leg. Pull the heel towards the tush. And I'm going to count the leg down from 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down, letting go. And we're going to do that one more time. Bending the knee up, the right leg. Pull the heel towards the tush, but draw the hips towards the floor. I'm going to let you count yourself down this one. If you thought 15 was too long or too slow, adjust accordingly. And then notice if there are jitters, shakiness, bumpiness in the release. When you're down, letting go. Let's do the left side. Bend up the left leg. Pull the heel towards the glute. I will count again. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Letting go. And again. Draw the heel in. So full flexion of the knee. And you feel the hamstring going to town back there. I'm going to invite you again to count yourself down. So I know sometimes it always seems like the battle of the hamstring, stretch, 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 but we want strong hamstrings too. They are part of our structural support. The back seam, and sometimes they're actually strong or tight, not so much because, because there's lacking core support other places. Slowly, 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 down we come. Ooh. And letting go. Which has now gotten us to the workhorses, the glutes. I know. Let's press the hips down again and keep your right leg straight and lift the right leg up. It's not going to go super high. And then from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. So you may have noticed, even though the glute is your main mover, that you were using the hamstring as a little helper. So we can take the hamstring out of this completely by bending the leg up at 90 degrees. Press the hips down. I'm bending my right leg up, and now I'm going to lift the thigh, just the thigh. And now from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. When the knee is bent, we can't solicit the hamstring to help out. Slowly release your right knee down. Pause. We should do the other side. First one we did was straight leg. Pressing the hips down. And let's lift the whole left leg. So the glute is the main mover, but since your hamstring probably helping out here too. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are down. Everything pulls. Letting go. And then bending the knee. Flexing the ankle or not. Doesn't really matter. What we do want to do is press the hips down and then lift the left thigh. Glute on board. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Slowly release the left leg down. And then with as little effort as possible, we're going to come onto our back body again. Pause and feel first. So we'll have our legs straight. Breathing in and breathing out. So far we have concentrated mostly right around the hip and the pelvis. Now we're going to move a little bit up to the lower abdomen, if you don't count the first one we did. So let's bend up the knees again. And now we're going to start using some of these deeper muscles and the obliques. Press the right hip into the floor. And then let go. Press the left hip into the floor. And as you do so, the right hip is going to come up. But it is completely passive. You're not lifting the right hip. Go from side to side. I'm going back at pressing the right hip down. And releasing. Left hip presses down. And notice, is it easier to talk to one side than the other? We are not perfectly symmetrical. We are perfect, but we're just not symmetrical. So these little imbalances, if we notice that one side is just weaker, we can work on that. So again, slowly move from side to side. The next time you finish after the left, coming back to neutral, you're going to hike the right hip up towards the right shoulder. So the movement we did at the very beginning when we were standing, when we lifted the heel up, these are the internal obliques that's helping us with that. And the hip hikers. Slide the left hip up. And releasing down. Slowly go from side to side. Right hip. Releasing. Left hip. Pausing. I invite you to flatten your back a little bit. So not a big event from the beginning, but for the pelvic clock. So let your belly button be the center of the clock dial. Your tailbone is 12 o'clock and your sternum is 6 o'clock, which makes your right side 3 and left side 9. So with a marble right now, plump right into your belly button. You're going to roll that marble to 12 o'clock. So that's an arch. And then roll the marble down along the rim of the clock to 3. So that would be to the right side, the right ilium. Roll the marble back to 12. So you are isolating now the muscles on your right side. Move between 12 and 3. The next time you are at 12 o'clock, you're going to roll the marble into the belly button and to 6 o'clock. More flattening, and then we're going to go from 6 to 3. So to the outer hip, back down to, or I should say up rather, 6 o'clock towards your heart. So creating a large clock dial. And in your mind's eye, see the marble going just between 3 and 6. Is it smooth? Or is it a little choppy? You're going to take the marble to 6 and back to the center. Pause. Let everything go. And now let's draw the marble from again the middle to 12 and to 9 o'clock. Back to 12. Just gracing that outer edge. Does this side feel like the first side? Again, is this the easy side? Is this the hard side? Moving slow, deliberate. And next time you come up to 12, take the marble to the center. Take a breath here. And roll the marble down to 6. If you are right dominant, this is probably not the easy side. But it may be. There are no hard and fast rules. We each have our own experience in our body. So rolling from 6 to 9 to 6. And then next time you come down to 6, slowly back to the middle. Take a breath. And then rolling the marble to, again, 12 o'clock, the tailbone. And then go all the way down alongside your outer right side. So from 12 to 6 through 3. And then go back up through 3 to 12. Sweeping along the outer dial. Smooth. And then next time you are up at 12, we're going to drop it to the center. And pause. And then you're going to roll the marble to 6 and sweep it up through 9 to 12. Back and forth. Evaluate, sense. Is this smooth or is this a little bit more mysterious? Or elusive? Next time you come down to 6, continue to 3. So now we're doing the entire dial. Go around the whole dial twice. And then switch directions. Then go opposite. According to my calculation, that would be clockwise. But you may be going the other way. That's cool. And then once you make it up to 12, put the marble in your belly button and slide the legs out. So let's get to those SSS. We do that by bending the left leg up. So lift your head and look at your right leg. It's rolled out to the side, so toes are not pointing straight up. Let the leg be relaxed. Take the hands under the head, interlace the fingers under the head. Now inhale, we'll gently arch, and then exhale, flatten, hollow out the belly, press the low back down, and then lift the right leg up. Lift about 3, maybe 4 inches. It's not a lot. And then reach out through the toes. We're going to take it down. 8, 7, 6, 5. Reach. 4, 3, 2, 1. And take it down. Now let everything relax. Keep your left leg bent. Breathing in and breathing out. So remember, the psoas starts at L1, which is just about sort of ish above the belly button. It's high. So to pin the upper part of the psoas, we need to lift the head too. So I'm going to leave that to you. If this is uncomfortable, you can repeat what we just did. We're going to start with our gentle arch, and then exhale, flatten. We're going to lift the leg again 3, 4 inches, and then lift the head and the top of the shoulders. Not a big lift. And then slowly stretch in both directions. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are down. Let everything relax. Slide the left leg out. Take your arms out and pause and feel. What's different of the right hemisphere versus the left hemisphere? How is the breath? In the lower quadrants and the upper quadrants. I'll be asking you that question again after class. I'm curious. We're going to bend the right knee up. And then we'll start with a gentle arch. Exhale, flatten, 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 flatten. And lift the left leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let everything relax. Breathing in and breathing out. And then if available, I invite you to lift your head and shoulders too, just the top. It's not a big lift. So let's do the inhalation and the gentle arch. And exhale, flatten, lifting, leg lifting, head. And slowly, 8, 7, 6. Reach out through the feet, lengthen upward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Relax the arms. Slide the right leg out. Breathing in and breathing out. Then again, roll the legs in and out. And we are ready to consolidate. Draw the legs together. Let's interlace the fingers, press the palms to the sky. And take the arms as far overhead as is comfortable. As you press out through the heels, everything draws towards the midline. Breathe One more breath. And we'll take the arms up and let everything relax. Breathe in and out. Take 3 deep, satisfying breaths. And after the third breath, I invite you to gently bend up your knees. And gently and slowly find your way over onto your side. We'll use the top hand to press into the floor and sit up. So I apologize, I have overstayed my welcome. So we will close our class with 3 Om, the sound that connects us all. It bows to our ancestors and descendants. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you. Namaste. I invite you to stand up, walk around,